Course and Carol's song number 7 is Ding Dong Merrily on High. We're going to start in the key of F, and then we're going to transpose to the key of G on the final verse. So we have F, G minor 7, C7, and C. But then when we transpose, it's going to become G, A minor 7, D7, and D. We're going to start on an F chord. Our opening note is an F. And here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and... Ding dong merrily on high, in heaven the bells are ringing. Ding dong verily the sky is riven with angels singing. Gloria, Hosanna in excelsis. Gloria, Hosanna in excelsis, in so below below. Let steeple bells be swung, and the by priest and people sung. Gloria, Hosanna in excelsis. Gloria, Hosanna in excelsis. Pray you dutifully prime your matin chime, ye ringers. May you beautifully rhyme your eve-time song, ye singers. Gloria, Hosanna in excelsis. Gloria, Hosanna in excelsis. All right, so there we go. Ding dong merrily on high. Let's talk about those chords a little slower than that quick run through I did of them. F is made with first finger, first fret on the second string, second finger set on the fourth string. And then we have G minor 7, we do the partial bar. So we got the first finger and barring across the first and second strings on the first fret, and then we've got the second finger on the second fret of string number 3. And then C7s are easy 1, 1, 1, first finger, first fret, first string. And then third finger, third fret, first string for the C chord. Okay, so those should all be good to go. And then our G, we've already talked in a previous video about the 4 different ways you could make G. You can make it this way, you can make it the traditional way, which is this way. You can do a partial bar and use your second finger to do it this way, or you can do the pinky G of Jim Beloff, which is like this. I can never do this quite. Yep, I'm messing something up there. There we go. There we go. That's nice and clean. That's not my favorite one, but it does work really well with the G to G7 transition if that's the way you want to do it. So those are our chords. Oh, I'm sorry. A minor 7, right? No fingers. And then D7. Okay, I like to do the barred D7, which is just barring across the second fret and putting your second finger on the third fret of the first string. But the other version of D7 is 2-0-2-0, which is second finger on the second fret of the fourth, and then third finger on the second fret of the second string. And this is a more jangly version. Some people call it the Hawaiian D7. It's used a lot in the Hawaiian turnaround and things like that. Okay, and for D, you can either do the barred version I have here, where you're barring across the entire second fret and putting your pinky on the fifth fret of the first string, or you can do 2-2-2-0, and there's a bunch of different ways that you can do 2-2-2-0. Some people like to use just one finger. I can't do that. My hand's not double jointed enough. I get a messy sound every time I try it. But I like to do it sort of like a G7, except I've got my fingers all scrunched onto one fret. And this actually leaves me for a really good transition to A when I'm in a key where A is going on. Now, we don't have A in this one. We've got A minor 7. So that doesn't really apply here. So choose whichever version of D you want. Now let's talk about what I did as far as strumming and fingerpicking goes. I really like having a fingerpicking thing on the verses on this, and you don't have to do this one, but I like it. There's all different kinds of patterns that you could do on this, but let's talk about the one I did do. Okay, so 3 by itself just means pluck the 3rd string, right? And then 1, 2, 4 together means we're going to pluck strings 1, 2, and 4 all together. So 3, 124, 3, 124, right? Now if we were just doing that back and forth, that would be fine, but you noticed in the video, if you were watching what I was doing down here, you noticed that I don't just go back and forth. So let me do it as if I was going to do it back and forth. Ding dong merrily on high, in heaven the bells are ringing, right? And that would be fine. Right? Okay. But I actually like to only put the 3 on there when I have a chord change, right? And so every time I have a chord change, I strike that 3. And then the rest of the time, when I'm reiterating the chord, I do the 124, right? So instead, I do this. Ding dong merrily on high, in heaven the bells are ringing. Ding dong merrily the sky is riven with angels singing. Right, and I like that. Like I said, you can do it many, many different ways, but that's what I was doing in there. And then for the choruses, I used the ragtime strum, which is 2 triplets, followed by a single down up, right? Okay, so we've got triple it, down up, triple it, down up. As I said in a previous video, if you want to get this ragtime strum down, you really got to just do it really slow at first and do it thousands of repetitions, right? I always, to learn techniques like that are really difficult for me, I put on something to occupy this frontal part of my brain so that I'm not bored while I'm programming those motor muscles, which are deeper in our brain, part of our older part of our brain, right? And so down, thumb, up, down, thumb, up, down, up. Now, there are other ways to do a triplet strum, but I find that this works really well with doing it as a rag. You can get it really fast. And consistent and nice sounding, right? Okay. There's a double up version where you go down, up, up. This one is a little bit more harsh, right? And I'm not as well practiced on it. Right? So I'd need to practice that up if I wanted to do it at the same tempo. And then some people do triplets with a combination of their first 2 fingers, right? So they go down with their 2 fingers and then they bring 1 finger up at a time, right? And then there's other ways to do triplets too. But for me, I like this down, thumb, up, 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 down, up. Okay? So we get Gloria, Hosanna in excelsis, right, and so on and so forth, right? So that's basically all I'm doing in this song, other than of course, we had this transposition up to the key of G on the last verse. And I talked about G in a bunch of different ways, right? Okay. In another video. Or, right? So you got to pick your G. Okay, D7, D. Okay, we talked about those. And then as far as the finger picking and strumming goes, I really just did the exact same thing as I did on the first two verses. We're just in a different key. That lifts it up, gives us a little bit of a climactic moment to go out on. And so I hope you enjoy that. Like I said, there's a lot of different ways you could do this. You don't have to do this complicated ragtime strum. You could do something just as simple as a Chattanooga strum, right? Gloria, right? And so that would work just fine. Or you could do the infamous down, down, up, down, up, right? I don't know, that makes it a little swingy, doesn't it? I'm not actually too fond of that one with this one, but you could do it if you like, if you want to give it some swing to it. Anyway, so like I said, many different ways you could do this. This is my way. And if you'd like to learn it, please do, okay? But other than that, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And keep on playing.